I'm talking to Rocherre. I know her as something else, but she is a mommypreneur, y'all, and I'm gonna let her tell you what she does.
So, hi, I'm Rocherre, and I am a realtor in the Indianapolis, Indiana, and surrounding areas. My focus, I love helping with new construction, but my main focus is helping single moms. And so that's something I really enjoy. And then something that I just started, like within the last couple weeks, getting into a new niche is working with cancer patients. So just seeing if they need any help or assistance with selling a home or downsizing or anything like that. So that is mainly what I am currently about.
Okay, so what's your 9 to 5?
Outside of real estate, I currently work at an insurance company. So I do that, and I've been there for 8.5 years.
Oh, okay, good. Been on the job working. Okay, so how do you balance having your own business and having a 9 to 5 and being a mom? How many kids do you have?
I have two children. So my daughter is a freshman at Fisk University,
Okay.
and then my son is a junior in high school. So luckily, my job, so I work during the day, and my job is pretty flexible, but I also work a early shift. And so with balancing my full-time job and my real estate clients, I would normally use, like, if I need to go do like if I need to schedule like a closing, or if I need to show a house or something like that, I try to schedule it around my lunch break so that I am able to do both. Or I normally try to just schedule something after work. But like I said, I'm available during the day pretty much, if you have like questions or anything like that. But as far as scheduling and showings and things like that, I try to work around my current work schedule. And then on top of that, like before my daughter left for school, she was very active with cheerleading. And so I would try to balance that all. And then before I started real estate, I finished my master's in mental health and addictions. So I did that, and that was probably the toughest thing ever, because I was working full time, going to school full time. I had just moved and relocated to the other side of town. My kids were going to school. So it was like 35, 40-minute drive to get my kids to school every day.
The commute be crazy. That is so draining.
That was probably the hardest time for us during I think it was like a year or two to finish my master's. That was really hard, because then I would still have to juggle and make sure I'm going to all the cheers, like to the games and stuff like that. So that was just very difficult for me. I would sometimes cry, like, I'm missing out on this or I'm missing out on that. Like, I would try my best to try to finish up with my clients, wrap up the sessions to make sure I get there, at least even if I'm there for 20 minutes. So that was very stressful at a point in our life, but we were able to get through that. And then now with college, last year was very hard for me. I think that I fell into a really bad state of depression, because that was my first time with her. Like, my kids are with me all the time, so for her to be 4 hours away, that was really hard for me. But I'm okay now. Like, I think we're all good. So,
well,
yeah.
I'm
Work-life
glad.
balance is, I don't really think it's a such thing as work-life balance. It's like one thing is going to get more attention than the other. So that's just me. Everybody says something different, but just me personally, I think one thing is going to get more time than the other.
Well, see, and that's where taking your time like off the top, I think is so important. Like, before I become mom, before I become worker or employee, I clock in, do any of that. I got to take my time off the top. Like, no more waiting until like everything's done or at the end of the night, or doing everything I got to do and hoping there's some time left over for me. No. To me, 2023, that's dead. I'm taking mine off the top. And it doesn't have to be something like extravagant, like every day. Of course, I wish I could go to the spa every day or get a mani pedi, or, just lay around some days just doing nothing. I wish I could do that every day, but I can't. But I can do a little something every day for myself. That's what I'm trying to do.
So what I do, so with, like I said, with so much going on, because like right now, we still like drive. We still live on the other side of the world, and he still goes to school on the other side of town. So that's still 35 minutes to school, 35 minutes back. Then I work in the car, just so he can get to school. And then by the time I go on lunch, I go to the next destination to be able to charge up my computer so I'm not running it, because I charge my computer up in the car. I go pick him up, finish working. So I'm working during the day. So it's a lot. And we have to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning for him to get to school, for me to get to work by 7. And so when it's time for the weekends, I'm really active with my real estate during the weekends, but I also make sure I focus on self-care. So whether that's on Saturday or Sunday, like self-care is not an option for me at all, like whatsoever. Like I do not play around, because it's like I'm on the go all day, 5 days a week. Don't get home till 9 o'clock at night sometimes, and we up and out by 5 something in the morning. So self-care is very important. So I get it. I'm not a spa person, but even if I'm just laying in bed, just looking at the ceiling and not doing nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I think that's the beauty.
Self-care. Or if I
That's
just
the
take
beauty
myself out
of
to
self-care.
eat, that's my self-care.
Yes, that's the beauty of it, because you get to define what self-care is for you. It's going to be different from one person to the next. But as long as you're doing something, I try to plan my day out like, and I call it like the 3 P's. So the first P is me, right? It's personal. I got to take my time, period. That's it. The second P is something for my purpose. So whatever I feel like my calling is, which for me is being led to counsel. I have my master's degree in counseling as well as public health. And then the third is passion. Like, what's your side hustle, your hobby? What do you love to do? What would you do if you can make $1 million doing it and do nothing else? And that for me is being a mom, being a notary. Those two things are definitely what fuels me. That's my why I'm doing all this. I want to leave a legacy for my kids, so that after I'm dead and gone, they can have a skill set or a business or even a bank account, where they can be like, my mom got me still. Like, I don't want to leave this earth and not have taught my kids what they needed to learn in order to grow and develop into their own persons and follow their dreams and their passions. And I don't want to leave them broke. Period. I got real simple goals. I like to shop. I like to travel. I like to do all that stuff too. But at the forefront of all of that is, what am I leaving to my children? What am I showing my children? Because they are our future. As cliche as it sounds, it's reality. They just literally are going to be here when we're not. And their children, and their children, and their children. So I try to balance my day doing one thing in each of those areas, the 3 P's. But here's the thing. If I don't do something for myself, I don't get to do the other two.
Okay.
Because once you start doing that, once you start making allowances and you start negotiating your time, these are things that are not negotiable. Taking care of yourself is necessary. It's not selfish. Everybody needs to do it. Everybody deserves to do it. It must be done. So that's what I'm trying. And I'm not saying like every day is a spa day. That might not be your thing. But every day you need to be doing something for yourself. It's like a daily investment. Like, not every day, like if you think of your car, not every day does your car need a tune-up or an alignment or or even gas. But every day it needs something
My
in order
car
for it
need
to
gas
go.
every other day.
I know. Look, I know that's right because these gas prices. Can I just talk about how the fact that I don't know what everybody else is doing, but Florida lost their mind with these gas prices for real. And on top of everything else is high, ground beef, eggs. Like we need a break, seriously. But yeah, every day something for yourself. It's like a daily investment. In order for your car to run, you gotta every day be checking it out, making sure it's cool. Why don't we do that for ourselves? Why don't we do that for our bodies, our minds? I don't know, but we got to. We have to change that. It just is what it is. We'll spend more time and energy into other things and people and places and not on ourselves. And that's how we get burnt out. That's how we get stressed out. Is you gotta refuel yourself. You just have to.
I wholeheartedly believe that.
So what do you do to fuel yourself? Like how do you fill yourself back up when you just drain from working and being mom and all that? What do you do?
So really I just relax because I haven't found, like I used to do like working out and stuff like that. I haven't found anything that just makes my soul so happy. It's like, oh my God, I look forward to this every day. Cause I'm tired. Like I'm literally
See?
tired. So by the time I go home, my bedtime is at 9 o'clock because we are up all day. And it's just
Yeah.
like, I go from working to picking up kids to finish working to doing real estate stuff to going home. So I shut down, like I said, over the weekends. Like Saturday is usually my self-care day. And that's just my day to just do whatever. Like I don't want to be bothered with pretty much nothing. So, and not all day, but just maybe for a couple hours, just like giving myself my me time, you know?
Yeah.
So that's just I just look forward to Saturdays because I know I don't have to wake up at a certain time. I don't have to do this. It's like I'll do the real estate stuff, but I'll get to it. It's not, I know it sounds bad, like it's not a priority, but I mean, I make sure all my clients are straight, but again, it's more of like, okay, my day will start at like 9 or 10 o'clock instead of, like I said, we get up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day. So just being able to sleep in till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, like
Right.
that's something huge for me.
You just got to be careful though, because sometimes I feel like no matter how much sleep I get, I'm still tired, sometimes. So I have to make sure that it's really rest and not just like my body shutting down. It's it's a difference. Like either you just sleeping because you spent, or you really are in a place to get real rest, and that's something I really am trying to improve upon too. Is just go to bed when it's bedtime, not when you just absolutely exhausted and you have nothing left to give and your body just give out. Like I'm trying to implement a very healthy sleep hygiene or regimen. So and teach a 3-year-old how to do that too at the same time. Listen, because she never wants to go to bed. And I'm not sure how she still has the energy because, ma'am, go to sleep. She just always got to show me one more thing. And I have older kids, so that time has came and went.
Right.
I rarely even see them unless something's wrong with the internet or they need some food. But she's like obsessed with me and don't never want to go to sleep. And I be trying to go to sleep. Okay.
The 3 years is a fun age. It's a fun age.
It is because she likes to do stuff with me too. Like whereas the other older kids, like I have to like kind of drag them out. Usually entice them with, okay, well I'm going to this event. Like I went to an event on Saturday, and I was just like, yeah, it's early in the morning, but I'm gonna pay y'all. I'm gonna make it sweet for y'all. And they was all in after that, but they was not feeling it at first. But she don't care what we do. She's 3 and her little world revolves around mommy and daddy right now. And I did miss that when my kids got older, I ain't gonna lie. Because now they don't want to take pictures or nothing. And we stayed at Master Lab, okay? Florida people might not know what that is, but we stayed taking pictures. You couldn't tell me every month we was taking pictures. We was
That's
going to
how
get
I
our
was with
little
my
fits.
kids.
Yes. Going to get our little fits and taking some pictures. And now I got a strong arm. I'm into taking a picture. It is just crazy. Well, as far as like people have who have helped you along your journey, or people you have helped or want to help, um, what does that look like for you?
As far as hold on 1 second. As far as helping people that have helped me, so my mother was a single mom, and so just looking at her and how hard that she worked, it just made me want to be like, okay, I don't ever want to be in a situation where we don't have money, we don't have food, we don't have transportation, we don't have this, we don't have that. So I feel like I've always had that hustle in me, like, okay, I gotta go to work, I have to do this, I have to do that. Like you said, I've been working since 15, 16 years old. Now I'm almost 40 years old, and it's like that's all I know. And I don't want to work full time forever. So it's like I also have stuff in place with my children, my kids, where, you know what I'm saying, like y'all gonna be set, but you can't screw it up just because I worked hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I also enjoy working, like I said before, with single parents. It's because you just you don't have to be in a full-blown relationship in order to have a nice house, or in order to have a nice car, or to have a good job. Like, you could be a single parent or a single person in general and make 6 figures and live your life and travel. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I just enjoy working with that group, only because so many people think, well, I have to have a man to do this, or I have to have somebody. Like, you don't have to do that
At all.
So I just really enjoy working with all kinds of single mothers. And then about, like, with counseling, those are the people that I counseled the most, was single moms with their kids just clowning and stuff like that, or children just being teenagers. You know, they're just being teenagers, but we don't know how to. Sometimes as parents, we don't know how to get across our kids, but we can get across somebody else's kids. Like, somebody else's child to listen to you when you just said the same thing the other parent just said.
Which is crazy, but that's been going on since I don't even know. Because if you think about when we were young, like, we always had like another like kind of auntie in the neighborhood who, you know, we could talk to and relate to. You know, my mama. Back then, you know, like now we besties, but back then you was not about to tell her just anything. She wasn't going for it at all. No. She was not having it. And you just have to, you know, have that other like mentor or person that you could talk to, because honestly, and what we was going through wasn't even nowhere near compared to what kids are, you know, doing now. Like, we didn't have to worry about whether or not somebody was going to run up in the school and shoot it up. And kids nowadays do, or cyberbullying, or really bullying too much. Like, I don't remember seeing that when I was a teenager going to high school. Like, I mean, there was fights, yeah, but, and there was some kids that was, you know, that would get into stuff. But as far as how things are now, I can't imagine. So these kids got to talk to somebody, whether it's a parent, you know, a mentor, a counselor, whoever it is. They got to have that outlet, because stuff's crazy now.
Right, and I'm real good, like, with my kids. I'm like, do you need to talk to somebody? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, we have health insurance, so if you need to talk to a counselor, like, just let me know and I can book the appointment. So I also feel like a lot of parents should do the same, because your kid's not going to tell you everything, but they'll probably, like, I had in my sessions, I had kids tell me stuff like, oh my gosh, I didn't need to know that. And it was just like, oh wow. But kids do need that extra outlet, because they do have so much going on. And I'm I've never been a person who's like, well, kids don't have stress. No, kids be stressed out too. It's just
Yeah.
a different type of stress.
Exactly.
And so having them to have an outlet is something that's one thing I did enjoy about being a counselor.
This working with, because I remember my daughter, when she started approaching her teenage years, she had some stuff going on with her, and she really didn't feel like I would understand. And so I was like, okay, if you can't say it to my face, then write it down in this notebook. And we would pass this notebook back and forth. And I was like, anything you want to talk about, anything you're afraid to tell me directly, you feel like I'm not going to understand, write it down. I promise you, I will not judge. I will give you feedback and support. I was like, you be surprised. Like, they don't know a lot of everything that I went through, but I have started to tell them a little bit more, bit by bit when I feel like they can handle it, because, my life was not always like it is now. And I still have things that I need to work on, even as a counselor. And shout out, if you're a therapist and you're not seeing a therapist, exit stage left, please, and hurry up and fix that, because in this age where everybody can literally be a life coach, and no shade to life coaches, anybody that's helping people get to wellness, to wholeness, I'm gonna stick beside them. But if you just out here, trying to pretend like you ain't never had an issue, like you've never dealt with anxiety or depression, you've never felt stressed, your life has always been perfect, and you out here calling folks low vibrational and all of that, please sit down. Nobody needs that. World and life and being a mom and working and kids, it's hard enough as it is. I don't need nobody coming and telling me I'm low vibrational, or no, I'm trying to heal, and I'm trying to help as many other people I can heal as well. But here's the thing: heal people, they can hurt people too. We know hurt people, but healing people hurt people too. So you got to be mindful of those people who's just trying to make it like seem like you know they never have a down day, or their life is totally perfect. Social media, it, it really makes it easy for people to portray, yeah, to portray that, and it's like that's not really helping nobody. Now, one thing I'm never gonna do is I'm never not going to show my life, my blessings, and who I am. I understand, moving in silence and all that, but God has done so much for me that I just really cannot not say it. And I want to be able to bring other people up too. Like if I see you doing something good and positive in this hard life, I want to be able to support you on whatever that means. And I think more people need to do it too. Like we literally all together going through various stages of life, dealing with so much trauma that it just, when people don't show compassion, knowing that I know just about everybody has been through at some point in their life a little bit of trauma or a traumatic experience, that just really makes me sad, because we got to do better. We got to do better.
Yes, I agree.
Well, what, if anything, or tips do you have or tell people who are mommypreneurs, who are working moms, working women, working to commit or committed to leaving a legacy for their children? What's your final words on that?
So main thing as being a mommypreneur is that we always feel guilty if we don't spend time with our kids. When my kids were little, I literally would cry because I'm like, they're not gonna know me because I'm going to school, I'm going to work, and I'm barely getting to see my kids. So the main thing is, don't feel guilty. Like, your kids are gonna know you. Your kids are gonna appreciate the fact that you are putting in hard work. And even though it may not seem like it or feel like it, don't give up. Like, that's the main thing. and then spend as much time with your kids as possible. It goes by so fast, like
Yes,
so
it
freaking fast. It
does.
goes so fast. Like I feel like I just had my daughter, and now we sent her off to college, and now she's about to be finishing up her first year of school in a
Wow.
couple months. So it goes by so fast. Take as many pictures. Just love on your kids as much as possible because it's going to go by so fast.
Yes.
And then the other thing is just appreciate your kids. Just talk to your kids, love on your kids. Make sure that everybody have an understanding. Even if being a mommypreneur, with being a mommypreneur, you can have your kids help you, and it can be like something fun. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody's a part of this. So it's like I know that I'm working, but they're helping me help us do this together. Like this is our thing. So then when it is time to pass it on to them, they're like, oh, I helped her when I was 5 or when I was 3. Like, this is our thing. So then they know this is not just something to play around with. Like, they will baby it just like you babied it because it's something for everybody and it's something that you did with the family. So that's another thing.
Yeah,
And
and I
then
think
just enjoy life.
yes,
Like,
that's what I was
just
gonna say.
enjoy
Just
life.
have fun doing it because life's too short. Like a lot of
It's
people
so
like
short.
say,
And tomorrow is not promised. So just enjoy life, enjoy your babies, enjoy your job, make your money, take your vacations. Don't just sit there and have all your vacation time sitting there. Take your vacation.
"Girl, you better use
Go
it."
to lunch. I don't even know if they still allow that since COVID, but just take an hour to a day, like your lunch break, and go eat lunch with your child. I remember when my kids was in elementary, I would take a day off every week. I would have a day off every week, and I would go to my kids' school and I would read for an hour. Just stuff like that. Just try to incorporate your kids into everything that you do, but still have time for mommy time and adult time.
Yes.
And don't feel guilty when you do have mommy time, because that's another thing with me. Like, I felt so guilty, like, oh, this or that. Just enjoy mommy time, enjoy kid time, enjoy family time, and just live your best life. And
Yes.
that's my word of advice.
Well, thank you so much, Rocherre, for being on with me today on the Mommypreneur podcast. I love everything that you said. One thing I disagree with, and people always look at me like I have two heads when I say this, but tomorrow is promised. It may not be
Okay.
promised to me or you. We might not be there, but tomorrow's coming. So you have to live life today. Enjoy your life today because tomorrow's coming. Just it's not guaranteed that we're gonna be there for it, right? But yes, you have to take your mommy time. It is necessary. It's not selfish. Self care. It's got to be a daily investment. What you do for yourself matters just as much as what you do for everybody else, and you deserve it. You do. I celebrate you, and I wish you much success on your businesses. And I want to collab soon again on something else. I'm going to, of course, link your information in the description and hope that that brings you some hits. And I want you to know that, girl, I see you and I celebrate you. You are a mommypreneur and I love you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I pray that your mommypreneur podcast and your notary and your counseling, I pray that that prospers for you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's it. Until next time, y'all, get your mama on.
Bye.
Bye.